Hello everyone, welcome to this series on the history of English literature. And in this video, we are going to discuss the development of prose in the age of Dryden. Introduction. The period of English literature known as the age of Dryden marks a significant transition in the development of prose. While the prose writing of this time is not extensive in volume, it reveals profound changes in style and approach. Prior to this period, writers such as Browne, Clarendon and Hobbes produced remarkable works, but their prose was often characterized by complexity, Latinized constructions, and a lack of clarity. The age of Dryden, however, witnessed the emergence of a more refined, accessible, and harmonious prose style, paving the way for the modern prose we recognize today. Transition from erratic to structured prose. Before the age of Dryden, English prose was often erratic, cumbersome and obscure. Writers like Sir Thomas Browne and Thomas Hobbes, despite their brilliance, employed a style that was heavily Latinized and complex, making their works challenging to read. Their prose lacked the fluidity and simplicity that would later become hallmarks of effective writing. With the advent of the Dryden era, prose began to find its footing. It underwent a transformation towards greater clarity, utility, and permanence. The prose of this period became more streamlined, with a focus on simplicity and harmony. This transition set the stage for the works of Swift and Addison, who would later perfect the modern prose style. John Dryden's influence on prose. John Dryden, a central figure in this period, played a crucial role in the development of prose style. His style, while not without its flaws, is marked by a freshness and vitality that sets it apart from his predecessors. Dryden's prose, though sometimes involved and obscure, generally exhibits a high quality of expression, characterized by an average style that resonates with energy and clarity. Dryden's contemporaries, such as Sir William Temple and George Savile, the Marquis of Halifax, also contributed to the refinement of prose. Their works exemplify the evolution towards a more standardized and accessible prose style, bridging the gap between the complex prose of the past and the emerging modern style. The plain style of Bunyan, Pepys, and Evelyn. In contrast to the refined prose of Dryden and his contemporaries, writers like John Bunyan, Samuel Pepys, and John Evelyn adopted a plainer, more direct style. Bunyan's prose, exemplified in his work The Pilgrim's Progress, is powerful and effective, carrying the narrative with a simplicity that resonates with readers. Pepys and Evelyn, though not primarily concerned with literary style, produced work that are admirably expressed. Pepys's diaries and Evelyn's writings offer a glimpse into the everyday life of the period, with Evelyn, in particular, achieving passages of elevated diction that add depth to his prose. The coarseness in prose. Jeremy Collier and Thomas Pratt. Not all writers of the period embraced the movement towards refined prose. Some, like Jeremy Collier and Thomas Pratt, leaned towards a more colloquial and even chords style. Collier, in his short view of the immortality and profaneness of the English stage, attacked the vices of the stage with vigor, but his style often lapsed into colloquialism and, at times, ungrammatical expressions. Thomas Pratt, who wrote on the newly formed Royal Society, also reflected this trend towards plainness, advocating for a close, naked, natural way of speaking. While this approach aligned with the scientific and philosophical aims of the Royal Society, it sometimes resulted in a bare, almost bald style of prose. John Locke's contribution to prose style. John Locke, a greater figure in this era, applied the principles of clear and unornamented prose in his philosophical works, most notably in an essay concerning human understanding. Locke's prose is characterized by its clarity and straightforwardness, making complex ideas accessible to a broader audience. His style, though bare to the point of baldness, exemplifies the period's shift towards a prose that is direct, functional, and devoid of unnecessary embellishment. The survival of elaborate prose. Gilbert Burnet. Despite the general trend towards simplification, some writers continue to employ a more elaborate style. Gilbert Burnet, in his The History of My Own Time, maintained a style reminiscent of the earlier, more complex prose of Clarendon. However, Burnet's style lacked the coherence and vocabulary mastery of Clarendon's work, often falling into colloquialism and producing sentences fragmented by frequent colons and semicolons. Conclusion: the age of Dryden was a pivotal period in the development of English prose. It marked the transition from the complex Latinized prose of earlier writers to a more refined, accessible style that laid the groundwork for modern English prose. While not without its imperfections, the prose of this era, particularly in the works of Dryden, Locke, and their contemporaries, demonstrated a significant evolution towards clarity, utility, and elegance. This period set the stage for the literary achievements of the 18th century and beyond, establishing a foundation for the prose style that we recognize and value today. So this was the discussion on the topic, the development of prose in the age of Dryden. We will meet in the next video and discuss some other topic. Until then, goodbye and thank you.